Back, obviously.
A little bit, but I was a little rusty out there. It wasn't one of my best performances. Could have got called for PI, but I didn't need my hands there. Just little things like that, getting back in the groove of things, and just being confident in your technique. I should have, it wasn't the best game for me at least.
Even being an experienced guy, I mean, you've played a lot of football. Does that time off? I mean, you mentioned being a little bit rusty. I mean, is it something where there's a quick turnaround there?
I mean, yeah, it's always a quick turnaround because you get used to the game because you've seen the speed of the game before. But when you first getting out there, you have to adjust a little bit because I missed 3 weeks and the adjustment period like everybody else and came out a little rusty. It got better. At the second half.
Surprised you when they went for that first fourth down and tested you a little bit?
No, I didn't. I knew that those guys were out there to compete and they want to win just as bad as we did. So we knew that they were going to do some weird things to get us off balance. But Coach Brown kept telling us to attack.
Jourdan, what was the message you guys were hoping to send with that national anthem?
It was just something that I felt strongly about. All these, it's a nationally spread issue right now. I just felt like my platform. I just felt like it'll get a message out.
Did you rally? A few guys did that. Did you kind of organize that at all, or how did that come to?
I said something before, probably the first game of the season. I said something, but those guys, after the current events right now, those guys did it on their own. I just followed their lead.
What is your message, Jourdan?
It is injustice here in the country that we see, and we gotta take notice of it. And that's really what it is. It's nothing, disrespect towards the country or anything like that, but it is injustice.
How do we solve it?
We gotta come together. Honestly, we have to encounter each other more. On both sides of the race or any race, we have to be involved with each other more than ever. We can't just think, okay, well, it is injustice. Okay, how do we fix it? From the outside, and we have to come together. As a human race, really.
Is it going to be a continuing thing weekly?
We don't know yet, honestly.
Michigan State players did. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Did Harbaugh say anything to you guys about
No,
that?
he didn't.
Michigan State did something very similar on their sideline. Did you guys see that? Did that prompt anything?
No, we were trying to prepare for Penn State at the time, and we just, those guys definitely led the charge. Channing Striblin, Mike McCray, David Dawson, all those guys came together, the same class, and said, we got to do something about it.
You brought it up in the first week, but did this week's shootings bring it to, I guess, more of a head?
It's not just this week, it's just the whole mess.
How hard is it to see Jeremy go off the field like that?
Man, we almost cried on the sideline, really. He worked his butt off this whole season to have a great year, and he was having a great year. And we just told him, at least it happened, in the quarter of the season where you can get redshirted. And I pray he gets back this season at least, for the later half of the season, because you never know when he prepares. A guy wants to get on the field so bad, you never know what can happen.
Did you see the play?
The first game, it was his call. Could you have played in week one?
Honestly, no. But me being a competitor, I wanted to. I worked so hard the off season that I strained it during camp because I didn't have any days off in the off season. I was going so hard, and that strain definitely sat me down a little bit. Take time off and let your body heal and rest. So you could say it was a plus that I got some time off because I wasn't I wouldn't have took that time off myself.
How do you think your performance was today? Would you say you're a little rusty or you a little
No,
fine-tuned machine?
Definitely. It was way too many holding on my part, on my side. I was holding the receiver, especially on that long pass. I didn't have to. I just get my head around it and look at the ball. I could have broke it up regardless. But
Would you say physically you're at 100% now?
yeah, I can say I'm at 100%. I just got to trust my body.
Did you see the kicker coming on that kick return there?
Not even close. I did not see him at all. He definitely thought he was gonna make the tackle when he did. But I put this out there. I'm not trying to throw any shade, but Jabrill did miss a ball.
Have you ever been hit harder by a kicker?
No, I've never been hit by a kicker. Actually, never got caught by a kicker. But in college, I never knew that a kicker had the trigger in the hole. I never knew. I thought they just stayed back there for a safety valve. But he definitely didn't care about any of that. He took his shot and he made it.
You say anything to Jabrill?
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. Jabrill got some words, but yeah, he's making it up. He did the same thing Maryland game last year on that pick, and that guy shot my hip. But I'm not gonna say anything else about the situation. I love Jabrill. He's a great player, but we have our hiccups.
Jourdan, the Penn State kicker Joey Julius did that the first game of the year. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely knew that he was a good football player and that he he did things like that. So honestly, I really wasn't worried about it. I was worried about just beating him. But obviously, you gotta respect good players. And he's definitely a good player. Oh my goodness, all type of things. But I was the first to acknowledge it. I said I was gonna be on Bleacher Report, but everybody else definitely was laughing at me, and that's a Cardinal saying. Don't get caught by the kicker. And it was the worst thing you could ever see.
Jourdan, did you have kind of like a mental and physical checklist coming into this game? Things that you wanted yourself to do?
No, honestly, every game that I've done that, I think too hard and I don't react. So I come into games now. I just go out there. I know I'm prepared to play the game and just go out there and react.
Jourdan, I don't think you ever missed a game before that.
Yeah.
These last three, what was it like to stand there on the sidelines the last 3 weeks, not be able to play after all summer?
It was very hard, especially that Colorado game when I saw my team. Those guys were out there. They needed me a little bit, but I definitely want to be out there with all those games, experience those wins with those guys. And it was definitely hard, but I knew what I had to do to get back on the field and be 100% for those guys.
Did you ever get nervous or scared at all with the injuries, knowing that you've got a future in this?
I mean, not really. So I always take it one step at a time. I was more scared that I wouldn't be able to play even more games. That was what I was worried about. It's never been about the next step, but I would have never held myself out, regardless of my injury. So if I was 100% to go, I'd have went.
So is this defense clicking on all cylinders right now, or is there still room for?
It's definitely. It's always, like Coach Harbaugh said, it's always time. It's always a place to improve. It's always somewhere we can get better. And it was a good win, but it's definitely some places where we can get even more better.
How
Back to the
effective
anthem real
was the
quick.
defensive line today for your team?
They are always effective. Honestly, from Hawaii to now, those guys are getting the job done, whereas we don't have to be, as hard in our coverage. Those guys are definitely getting it done.
And what stood out in particular today about them?
The way their motor, honestly, just the way they went and attacked the quarterback and got those tackles for loss, got the running back on the ground. He was a great running back. He was a really good running back, and the way they got him on the ground, it was amazing.
You said you were following someone else's lead on the national anthem stuff. Was there somebody who kind of organized the guys?
Oh no, it was just a collective group where guys were just discussing, the current events of the nation and just seeing that, something had to be done. We had to take a stand.
So during the week of practice, that?
Yeah, we definitely thought about it before.
There will be people who say that, it's your job's to represent the school and not kind of be outspoken on a personal basis. What would be your response to that?
I'll just say I have a platform, and regardless of of anything, I'm still gonna stand up for injustice. But I was never disrespecting anything. I love this university, I love this country, but things can get better.
So you wouldn't call it a protest, right? What would you call it?
Just standing up for what I believe in, what all our guys believe in, honestly.
Jourdan, what were some specifics you guys did this week of practice prepare for Deshaun Hamilton, Chris Godwin, and what was the biggest factor that let you and Change Tribune win that matchup throughout the day?
We knew those guys were great receivers. Even I think number 3, I don't really know. Tompkins, yeah, he was a really good receiver. We knew we were facing a good receiving core. We knew that those guys were going to go out there and compete. So we just practiced and prepared our hardest that whole week. And Coach said we had a great week of preparation, and we went out there and reacted.
Early thoughts on Wisconsin?
Any thoughts? Right, they're a great team. Honestly, they're getting the job done this year, and it'll be interesting to see those guys on film.
Wilton said he didn't know that you guys were going to do that. Is that something where you guys were trying to invite other guys
No,
to do it with you, or was it just a small group?
We never want to force anybody to make a decision. It was just us talking. It was just I just overheard the conversation and just okay, I'll involve myself in it. I never wanted to make anybody feel uncomfortable if they didn't have any mixed feelings about it. So.
All right, guys, we got you going.